Jodha AKBAR, the 16th of November 2021 update. For more updates, please don't forget to subscribe. Jodha is about to tell Bhagwan the truth, but Salim comes there. All are stunned to see him. Salim says to Bhagwan that I am sorry I couldn't meet you. He says I got to know that my marriage is fixed with man. He says to Jalal that I agree to your decision. All are surprised. Ruks thinks how this happened. Salim gets a flashback of how Anarkali asked Salim to marry Man. She says we don't have any other way. If you marry Manvy, then Jalal will be happy. Salim says I love you. Anarkali says I know, that's why I am asking this from you. Salim says okay, your wish my command. I will marry her, but I have one condition too, that you will not go anywhere. You will live here. You have to promise me that you will keep meeting me after marriage too. Anar says okay, I agree. FB ends. Ruks congratulate everyone. Jalal says to Rahim and Man that marriage will be great. Announce in the city that nobody will cook in the home for 7 days. They will eat royal food. Salim is in his room. Jodha comes and asks what he did. You love Anarkali and she loves you too. I went to meet her and I realized that she loves you a lot. She has not dreamed of a throne and crown, then how can you do it? Salim says everyone is not Anarkali. I have done this for Jalal's respect and royal family. Jodha says I don't believe this. You always fulfill what you desire, then how can you agree to marriage now? Salim says aren't you happy that I am marrying your niece? I am fulfilling Jalal's promise. You wanted this only? Jodha says I wanted it and I am happy, but I won't ask what you paid for this decision. Salim says for Jalal's happiness no amount of payment is big. I did what Jalal wanted. If this is a deal, then let it be. He leaves. Jodha says deal? Jodha is getting in her room. Jalal comes there and thanks to her. He says I am very happy. I knew you would make your son agree. If you can make me agree for anything, then he is my son. You have done huge work. He wouldn't listen to me, but you made him agree. Did you see? Everyone is so happy. Now you will see how grand this marriage will be. History will remember it. You should be happy now. You parental house and in-laws house are tied again. Jodha says what about Anarkali? You ordered her to leave Agra. Jalal says when Salim agreed to marriage, then I will call her back in the city. I have nothing against that girl. It's just that she is a dancer and I will not make her daughter-in-law of this house. I am happy that Salim has agreed for it. It's very good decision. Jodha says sometimes parents feel that with their decision their kids will be happy, but the opposite happens and they are pained. To be honest, I have not pacified Salim for this marriage. I don't know who made him agree. I am happy that there will be no fights, but I feel he is deeply hurt. Jalal says when you are king you have to take harsh decisions, keeping your feelings aside. Jodha says what if you have to choose between your duties and me? Will you leave me? Jalal says what are you saying? I love you a lot. You are my life. I can never leave you. He hugs her. Jodha thinks then why don't you understand that Anarkali the life of Salim? Ruks is angry that how Salim agreed to this marriage. He went to meet Anarkali, but how he agreed to Manvy. I thought there will be drama in function, but nothing happened. I have to Jodha find some noise. She goes to find Anarkali passionately dancing. She falls on floor and breakdowns in tears. Jodha says Anarkali. Anar wipes her tears and greets her. Jodha says I am happy to see you back. Anarkali says when Jalal asked me to leave I accepted to leave. He asked to stay back, so I stayed back. Jodha says I can see the pain in your and Salim's eyes. I don't know why. Salim agreed to marry Manvy. I am happy about it, but as a mother, I am worried for Salim. Anarkali says what happened is nice. Salim will be happy with Manvy. All are happy. I am happy too. That my friend Manvy is getting married. She deserves to be Salim's wife. She deserves to be queen and I am dancing in happiness. Jodha says don't pretend in front of me. I know what you and Salim sacrificed for the goodness of Sultanate. It's not easy to go away from your love. I am proud of you, child. Anarkali hugs her and cries. Jalal stops Salim. Salim greets him. Jalal says I am happy with your decision. It's good that you left your childish wish. I want to tell you that sometimes we have to decision as we are royal people. We have to think about people, our respect and dignity. Salim says you are right. After you I will be king. Jodha comes and gives them arti. Salim leaves. Jodha asks Jalal what you were saying to him. Jalal says I was telling him that after marriage he should be careful of his wife. Jodha makes face and leaves. The dance bar manager comes to Ruks. Ruks says you have to do my work. I have heard that Anarkali has returned. She says yes. Ruks says there will be going to celebration in the palace. I want you to send Anarkali for dance. Here, manager says but Jalal. Ruks asks her to do what I say. Manager says okay and leaves. Ruks says I am best at putting fires in hearts and taking advantage of it. Jalal says to Bhagwan that soon your daughter will be ours. Bhagwan says yes, I am waiting for that day. Salim is there too. The function starts. Dancer comes there. Salim, Jalal and Jodha are stunned to see Anarkali there. She has gungroos in her feet. Salim is hurt seeing her. Anarkali starts her dance and feet starts bleeding. He can't take it anymore. Salim shouts Anarkali. He goes to her. She falls in his arms. All are shocked. Jalal is angry. Salim makes Anarkali sit and asks to call doctor. Manvy comes there and asks Anarkali, are you fine? She says yes. Anar says thanks prince for giving me respect. Daniel thinks what fate is this? Man loves a person who loves a dancer and the one who, Daniel, loves. Manvy can't say it. Jalal gets up. He looks at Salim and says dancer is part of the nation and seeing her pain. Prince came to help her. Very well Salim. All praise Salim. Bhagwan says Salim you have a great heart. You will be good king. Salim says Jalal is responsible for this. He has made me learn that the one who has crown on his head should have care for his nation in his heart. Ruks thinks this means love fire is still in hearts. At night, Jalal comes to Jodha and says I know you are thinking about Salim. Jodha says Salim did that for humanity. Anyone would do that. Jalal says I know that. Jalal acts like he is hurt on feet. Jodha runs to him and asks what happened. Jalal says nothing, I just wanted to see your care for me. I was seeing when my little scream made you worried. Then Salim would have felt bad as that dancer got hurt. What Salim did was not humanity. There was people there who had more humanity than Salim, like you, Hamida and Salima. Scene 3. Salim goes to meet Anarkali. She is lying on bed. Salim comes to her. She says you here? Why don't you understand? She tries to put her feet on floor. Salim puts hand under her feet and says your feet has wound, don't put them on floor. Anar gets emotional and asks why did you come here? Salim went to her because of love. He couldn't see her like that. I know they love each other and pain is acceptable in love, but unfortunately they are not seeing consequences of this. I will make Salim understand. He leaves. Jodha says why Jalal is not understanding that man never forgot his first love. Salim said yes for marriage but will be able to forget Anarkali? Will he able to love Manvy? Salim comes to Anarkali and says you are in pain and want me to sleep peacefully? I can let go of my life but not my love. He caresses her face and kisses her forehead. Daniel sees this and thinks that this is betrayal to Manvy and I won't let this happen. Salim hugs Anar. Anar says it's Very late. You should go and don't come again. Salim says you are forgetting that you promised me that you won't say no to meet me even after marriage. I have heavy heart and I come to you to get peace. I wanted to see you as my wife but someone else have taken that place. I can't take it. Anarkali says this is our fate and we have to accept it. Ruks is laughing and says I very well know how to lit fire, be it fire of love or of pain. Dasa comes and says Jalal has called you. Ruks gets tensed. Ruks comes to Jalal. She asks how you called me. Jalal says I thought to play chess with you. Ruks says why not. They start playing chess. Jalal says you played good trick. You made me stunned. Even in function by calling that dancer. Ruks says I know you like Anarkali's dancing skills. That's why I called her. Jalal says you know that no dancer can come without my permission, even after knowing that what is happening between her and Salim, even after knowing that function was for Salim's marriage. Why did you call her? You played good trick but don't forget I am not a weak player in politics and when you are against me then don't think I am a fool. Never make Anarkali come in front of Salim again. I want you to be involved in the marriage preparation, nothing more than that. Ruks says I didn't want to hurt you. Jalal says how dare you play this game with me? Jalal and Jodha are walking. Jodha says Manvy will be good wife and good daughter-in-law. Jalal says I forced Salim for this marriage because I see your shadow in Manvy and she will be good wife to Salim. Jodha says even I am satisfied that everything is fine between you and Salim. Jalal says I am happy too. Jodha finds someone standing in dark at terrace. She says to Jalal that there was someone there. I felt like someone was spying on us. Jalal calls soldier and asks to check there if someone is present. Jalal asks Jodha to not worry. My soldiers will find him. Soldier comes and says there is no one there. Jalal says to Jodha that it must be your doubt because of darkness. Jodha says maybe. Jalal takes Jodha aside and says you were right, there is someone on terrace. I don't want to show that we know about his presence. Keep talking normally. Jalal says weather is nice, we should go on terrace. They come on terrace. Someone is coming from behind with sword in his hands. Jalal turns and grabs his hands and says you will not be saved today. He greets Jodha. Jodha says you? Jalal asks Jodha that you know him? Jodha says he is Madhav Singh, man's brother and my nephew. Soldiers comes to arrest him. Jalal asks them to go. Jalal says I didn't recognize him as I didn't see him before. Jodha asks Madhav is this way to come? Madhav says I came right now so thought to surprise you. He says sorry to Jalal. Jalal says no problem but be careful, you were playing with King Jalal. Don't do it again. He asks soldier to take him to guest room. He leaves with Jodha. Madhav thinks that I am not Man Singh who is your shadow. I am shadow of your death, you will be around you now. Ruks is feeling jittery. She eats opium. She says you always loved Jodha, even after all this you were away from me. Jalal, you were my lifeline. I was in Agra for so many years. Because of you, I tried to change myself for you but you loved Jodha. Why? Am I not beautiful? Am I not good? What's in Jodha which I don't have? She cries. Salim and Anarkali are in room. Man comes and sees Salim holding Anar's feet. Anar sees her and says to Salim that it's enough. Why you are caring for me so much? I understand you are doing this as I am friend of man but in end I am just Dasa. Man smiles listening this. Man comes in. Salim is stunned seeing her. Man asks Anar are you fine? Anar says yes. She asked to make Salim pacify that I am fine. Man says he is doing what I should I do. I am sorry that I am coming late. She thanks Salim for taking care of her friend. Salim says how can I not care for her? She is close to my heart. Man is stunned. He says I mean. She is close to you, so she is close to me too in that way. Man smiles shyly. He says if I don't care for her then you will be miffed with me. Man says no, I will never be miffed with you. He says. You both talk. I will leave. He leaves. Man says I am very lucky to marry Salim, the one who cares for my friend so much, must have so much love for me. Anar says you are right. Lucky one gets life partner like him. I am happy for you. Shahab is in jail. Murad comes to meet him. Shahab is happy to see him. He says I knew you would come to save me. Murad says be silent. If anyone sees me then it will be problem. Shahab says I can't bear to be here. I am afraid what if I tell someone about you. Murad says you will not do anything like that. Shahab says I didn't tell anyone till now, but pain has limit. My tongue can slip. Murad gets angry and says I have planned for you already. He gives duplicate key of cell and dagger. He gives both to him. He asks him to run tomorrow night from cell and meet him near lake. He leaves. Shahab is happy. Jodha says to Jalal that man will be happy to see Madhav here. You know Madhav was always against Mughals and Rajvanshi relations. At time of our marriage, he was very small but taunted my father a lot. I am happy he has accepted it. Now, Jalal says it's fine to have disagreement. Many Rajvanshis still don't like me. He has come here leaving his disagreement aside. It's good, but if he try to taunt here then I won't bear it. Jodha says he will not anything like it. If he has hatred then he would have not come here. He loves man a lot. Madhav says to himself that I love my thought only. I have come here to kill Salim and Jalal. In marriage mandap I will shed blood of Mughals so that no Mughal will dare to come near Rajvanshi women. Jalal says to Jodha that it's been many days since we came close, so I think today we should come close. Jodha blushes. Aram comes there. Jodha says you were with man. Aram says I am miffed with her. Jodha says what she did. Aram says she said to me that I have to leave this house. I have to leave you and Jalal. This is my house, then why would I live? She said that I will marry and leave. Jalal says don't worry. You won't go anywhere even after marriage. Go to your room. Now, Aram says I want to sleep with Jodha. Jalal is tensed. She lies on bed. Jodha says I will make you sleep. Aram says I want to listen story. Jalal is bewildered. He says you should sleep. Listen story some other time. Aram says we listen story at night only. Jalal asks Dasa to take her when she sleeps. She says I am not going anywhere. Are you sleepy? If you are sleepy then sleep. Jodha smile. Aram asks her to tell story. Jodha says okay. She starts story. Jalal is waiting when Aram will sleep. Aram sleeps. Jodha looks at Jalal who slept too. She comes to him, caresses him. Jalal holds her hand, kisses it. Jodha see him and says you hear? You were against this marriage. Madhav says I had to come for my sister. Jodha says we should all celebrate marriage with open heart. She leaves. Madhav leaves too. Bhagwan asks Man what you think that Madhav is happy with this marriage? Man says I hope so. Sometimes sisters love change thoughts. Hamida and Jodha comes to Man and present her Shagan Mendi. Hamida asks Man's mother to apply Mendi to Man. She says first mother-in-law should apply it. Jodha sits. She finds Anarkali there. She says I can't apply Mendi. She looks at Anarkali.